Hi guys and welcome to the Quinn podcast. Here we give you a look through the eyes of the most successful athletes, entertainers, entrepreneurs and influencers on this planet. Be sure to check out all of the content at quinnpodcast.com. Enjoy the episode. You took over and sold the family business in 2019, I believe.
So I actually exited the business and I bought the business from my father probably 10 years ago. I don't know if that's 2014, 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then I exited in 2019. So I actually got out a while ago.
How do you look back on that? First
I
steps in
mean,
business.
it was so long ago. I mean, it was the beginning of my career. I worked with my father since I was a kid, literally delivering and packaged ice with him, working in the business, getting new accounts, different phases of the business. And so it taught me hard work. I mean, we live in a digital world now, but that was manual labor. That was like just pure blue collar hard work to earn your money. So it just taught me a lot of discipline, but also taught me to communicate with a lot of small businesses. I mean, most of the businesses I'd meet 30, 40 businesses in a day while going on a route. And they're anywhere from a bar, a restaurant, convenience store, you name it. And so it taught me a lot about communication, sales, and just customer relationships.
Yeah, no, I love that. Back 2019 to like now. Give me the quick rundown of the career so far. Because that's interesting for the audience.
Yeah, so 2019, I mean, if you go back to my story, like 2019, I started over. So most people don't realize when I got out of the ice business, I was actually transitioning and almost in bankruptcy. So I was $500,000 in the hole, didn't know what I was going to do. I lost everything, car repossessed, I mean, bank notes, you name it. So pretty much went from having what I had to having nothing and negative. Um, and then I just made a big pivot. I grinded my way out of it. 2020 came. It actually was a kind of a blessing in disguise. It allowed me to, I stopped traveling and doing speaking and things. And I focused more on the consulting side and doing bigger partnerships via Zoom. And within a couple of years, built up a multi-million-dollar business. And just, I mean, literally starting going from nothing because I had to make a little bit of a pivot. But
Mm-hmm.
just for the listeners, I mean, today I own a marketing investment advisory firm. So if you're doing 1 to 10 million in top line revenue, you're our ideal client. If you're looking to scale beyond 10 million and the goal to get to 100 million and beyond, we help you do that through our marketing side of our business, our consulting, our experience. So recently, myself and Kevin Harrington Enterprises, he's the original shark from Shark Tank, merged our companies. And so Kevin's the chairman, co-founder. I'm a co-founder, and his son's the other. We're co-CEOs. And so what we do now is we help scale businesses. We have a large portfolio. We have about 30 some equities companies in our portfolio right now. Some that are doing millions, some tens of millions, some doing over 100 million. And so it's a big change from 2019. I mean, I literally, when they say you can change your life in a short period of time, I think Jeff Bezos said it. You could be spending 4 years grinding, 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 and seeing no results. In year five, you could be the biggest thing on the planet. And I'm not saying I'm the biggest thing on the planet. I have a long ways to go, but I'm just sharing how you can make such a change in your life when you commit to something. And so looking at 2019 to having nothing to now 2025, having a very valuable business, my life has changed. It's a different life.
Yeah, I love that. On the Arctic sticks, real quick on
Yeah.
the Shark Tank one. That was fun. How do you look back on that endeavor? Because obviously the pivots and everything, just the whole project. How do you see that, knowing what you know now?
So it was probably the best thing that happened to me. I mean, so Arctic Stick was a product I came up with while in the ice business. I wanted to make more in the ice business. So I came up with this invention called Arctic Stick that could fit in a bottled beverage, put it in, keep it colder longer, and it's something that could be reusable. So not like the ice melts and it's gone. You could put liquid in this device, put it in the freezer, take it out. It's like an ice stick. And so I developed that in college at Iowa State University. I was 20 years old at the time, 20 years old, 21. I spent 3 years really developing it, forming it. I spent $100,000 into it, investment for patent, trademark, product development, tooling, all of it. I launched on the market, and I never really made any money with that invention. I put in 100 grand. I probably brought maybe 10, 15,000 lifetime sales of that product. But in the pursuit of that, taught me pitching, investment, taught me crowdfunding, taught me product development. And then what happened is I ended up transitioning into the crowdfunding space to help people raise money through reward-based crowdfunding. Now they have equity crowdfunding. And so it taught me that. I mean, I took it to Shark Tank casting call, pitched in front of a bunch of people. There was hundreds of people there. Was the last one to leave. I mean, we had this whole pitch. They put us on the cover of USA Today. Never got asked to be on the actual Shark Tank show, but it's funny how things happen. I mean, I had partnered with Kevin Harrington, the very first Shark pick for Shark Tank, did 2 seasons. And so now, I mean, him and I are business partners, and we have a large portfolio, and we're the ones that are, I can say per se, the sharks. But it was the best thing for me. It taught me a lot about business, and I think the lesson for listeners is when you pursue something in life, whatever you go after, maybe that's not your end all be all, but it may be the thing that leads you to your end all opportunity. And so that was a game changer for me.
Are there practical, like business perspective points you would have done different? Obviously, you would have done different, but looking back,
You know, I think I would have pivoted quicker. I was really holding on. At one point, I was put all the money I had. I was willing to mortgage my house, like to take out an extra mortgage and to go to the next level. Arctic Stick, I was like, I'll do whatever it takes. But then at that moment, I realized that, okay, maybe there's a sign here. Maybe I'm meant to do something else. Because I always say, like, hey, you don't go until you get the reality. Well, I got really to the product on the market, but I realized that wasn't going to be my big success. And I had to make the tough change of pivot. And I guess pivot faster. I don't have many regrets from that, but one thing is I could have pivoted faster maybe to get quicker into the things I do today. But yeah, it's still I'm grateful for the whole journey.
sure, I believe it. Talk to me about that one though, like persistence and pivoting. It's a tough one, especially as an entrepreneur, right? You want to go all in and you want to go hard.
Yeah, I mean, you got to listen to market feedback. You also there's a time like having mentors listen to, and I didn't always listen to my mentors. Sometimes you listen to them and take their guidance, but sometimes only you know what you really need to do. And so you got to know when to filter out that feedback from other experts or people that have been there and done that. But just always be listening to the feedback of others, good and bad, but also listen to the market feedback from communication you get from people talking to you about your product to people around you. Because sometimes you'll see a trend of what's being said, which that trend gives you feedback you need to pursue something differently. And so, yes, make pivots. But I've learned in life when you go hard and all in on something, eventually you'll come across the things maybe you like more or is more fruitful for you. And so I go back to Arctic Stick. If I didn't pursue well, first off, in the ice business, if I wasn't motivated to make a shit ton of money, I would have never came up with Arctic Stick. These Arctic Stick is my way to make more money. Well, came up with Arctic Stick, stuck with it till all the way through it selling on the market. If I wouldn't have stuck with that, I would have never learned what I learned, but also I would have never discovered crowdfunding because I was raising money and I couldn't get any investors, so I went to the crowd. And so because I kept pushing forward, I went to crowdfunding, and then I built a crowdfunding agency where we help people raise millions of dollars through crowdfunding. And so again, that Arctic Stick didn't work, went into crowdfunding. Then I built my agency, Accelerate Media Group, which
Right.
was raising money production, which now recently merged with Kevin Harrington Enterprises. So as you see, everything was a stepping stone and a pivot towards the thing I end up becoming. And so when you go all in on one thing, it'll open up doors for other things.
I hear you. Good one. On the crowdfunding itself, you raised like how much did you raise in total?
I mean, we did, I don't know, dozens of campaigns, tens of millions of dollars. There's a combination of crowdfunding, internal funding, over 100 million between all of it. because
Awesome.
I've done regular capital raising. But yeah.
Yeah. How do you see successful crowdfunding in today's landscape?
Well, there's a formula. I am going back. This is going back in time. The FUND formula. So the acronym FUND was F is forethought, U utilize marketing plan, N narrative, and D delivered value. And this could literally apply to anything in fundraising. So the forethought process is most people don't prepare enough for their campaign, their raise. They need to have, in the fundraising world, you need to have your deck, your documents, your everything. So when somebody does come to you for giving you money, you have everything in place. So the preparation of your marketing and your fundraising, the marketing, utilize marketing plan, you're going to go through hundreds of conversations, if not more, and you got to be in front of the right people, but not all of them are going to say yes. You just need to get a few of them to say yes. And so it's marketing your endeavor. It's spreading the word about what you're doing, because the more people see it, the more it becomes branded into their brain, which means they're going to invest in your company, back it, whatever it is. The next one is narrative. It's probably the most important aspect of the whole thing, is the story. The story you communicate, whether in crowdfunding or as a founder raising money from investors, you got to paint the picture of the story of where you're going and where you're going to be, and bring those viewers, investors, backers along for the ride, and show them where it's going. So then they know where to put their money into it, and they see where it's going. So people will buy into you and your story. Like people will invest in you just because they connect with you. Obviously, they want to see the return on an opportunity, but people will literally invest. I once had an investor. He put in a large sum of money, and he actually said to me afterwards, he said, Brandon, I invest, I'm excited, but honestly, the thing that excites me the most, you're probably going to have me live 5 years longer because of my excitement for this journey being a long ride with you. And so, like, people invest because of ego, people invest because of return, people invest because of association. So narrative, tell that story to your person that's going to get into business with you. The next one is deliver value. Whether you're selling a product or service, or if you're raising capital, whatever you're doing, you need to show a valuable asset and a value that's going in return for the people. So in crowdfunding, we had a compelling offer that people got. They got an experience, they got a return, they got a product or service. But also, like in our world, is somebody pitches me and they want investment money, I need to show a very valuable deliverable they're going to get in return down the road. So maybe they're getting a lower valuation of the company. Maybe they're going to get their money back X amount of time plus some other perk. What is the value you're delivering? Most people just expect, I'm just going to get money and I don't have to give anything in return. They're going to like me. They have the money. No, they want to make sure their money is going to be a good steward and they're going to get a return on their money. What's in it for me? And so that fund formula is what I've implemented in crowdfunding, fundraising, and even delivering products and services. And that's how you raise money. That's how you sell products and services. And that's how we've raised well over 100 million.
Yeah, that's good. I watched your video from Zero to Investor. It was a fun one. You mentioned that a lot of companies, early startups, don't need investors, they need advisors.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that one.
Yeah, so people just go to, I need money. Money will solve the problem. Well, if you don't know what to do with the money, it definitely won't solve the problem. You need results, you need milestones, you need customers, you need cash flow, you need revenue. And the best entrepreneurs figure out how to do that without any investment. And then the investment is a great way to pour fuel in the fire. So like if I know my acquisition cost is, let's say I put $3 in, I get $10 back, that's a good return. So then if my company's doing $250,000 or $500,000 a month in revenue, and if I know that my acquisition cost, I'm getting a 3-to-1 return, if I get $5 million of investment and put it in towards that thing that's working, well, 5 million in, 10 to 15 million back. I mean, you get the picture. And so it's scalable when you know your acquisition costs and what's actually working. It's just a lever, more money in, more money out. And so most people don't even know what their acquisition cost is or even know what they're going to do with the money to achieve a certain milestone. They're just like, oh, just give me money and it'll work. And now it doesn't work that way. And so I say is you need an advisor You need somebody strategically that's going to show you the pathway to be a good steward of the money, but help you get to that revenue before even needing that investment. And most people aren't willing to give up equity. Oh, I don't want to give up any equity in my company. Well, they'll have 100% of a company that's worth nothing versus 5, 10, 20, 30, 40% of a company that's worth tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, you look at Jeff Bezos, I think he has maybe 10, 15, 20%, whatever that is of Amazon. Well, that's worth billions. And so that is a mindset people need to have starting out, is you may have to give up some equity and get strategic partners along the way that put you in a position to be ready for capital. And then when you're ready for capital, you can use it wisely to actually scale the business.
How do you decide the strategic partnership you need for your startup?
So first off, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? So know your strengths, what your weaknesses are, find people that are good at that. That's one thing. And that's a way too to find a co-founder, a COO, somebody else in your business. And then find people ideally that have already been on the path you're going on in some way that can provide you strategic guidance, experience, connections, different relationships, and work along the way. So find people that's already been there and they have experience in that endeavor, so they can help you avoid costly mistakes, but also help you generate more revenue for the business.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I'm curious what you think of this one. I'm in the marketing, right? And the whole everything about it. So I have this idea, and there's this dude later on today I'm interviewing. He has like a $150 million marketing agency. I don't want money from him. I just want his guidance. I want like 30 minutes a month with him. It's an idea, so it's like worth nothing. It'll be worth nothing for like a couple years. How would you approach that conversation? What can I offer that dude to give me guidance in return?
Yeah, I know exactly the answer because I've done it many times in my life. The answer is come from a place of service and value. Find a way to help make him money. Offer to work for his agency for maybe 5 hours a week at no fee. When you come from a place of helping him achieve his goal, he's going to give you advice. Maybe he'll put you in business with him. I mean, the number one mistake people say is, oh, can you mentor me? Can you give me 30 minutes a month? Like all that sounds like me.
Mm-hmm.
What's in it for me? Time. Somebody like me, like getting 30 minutes with me isn't easy because I have everybody, 1,000 people a day that want 30 minutes with me. Same for this guy. And so what can you do for him? Come from a place of giving. In return, you'll eventually get what you want. In my career, how I even got in my business relationship today is I invested in a mentor that was in an association with the person I'm in business today. And I actually paid him as a consultant. I put down a large sum of money, hired him, paid him monthly. And then eventually he taught me, brought me into a circle, which eventually got me to the other person. It's a long game. And so how can you help that person achieve their goals? And it's maybe as simple as, hey, here's what I'm doing. I really value your time. Anything I do to support you, help you get deals, get any way to support your business. I'm looking for a mentor, but I don't expect anything for nothing. What can I do to help you? And in return, I learn along the way.
Yeah, I was thinking of like offering him just like free promotion on the podcast.
It might work. I mean, the quickest way to get people's attention is money.
Right.
I know but I mean, it could be as simple. I mean, to be honest, just from what I learned in my career,
Yeah.
if you really want his attention, and I don't know your situation, but I just think it'd be like, hey, I'd love to help you. I want to promote you, and even if I just got 15 minutes of your time, I would send you like $500 or something, like.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shows you appreciate and value their time and you won't use and abuse it, and they might do it anyway. And so I'm just telling you, that's what I would do.
Yeah, not good one. Interesting. Thanks for that one. The entrepreneurs you help raise capital for. What do you look for in those guys? Traits that are common.
I look at, are they coachable? Is that CEO, founder coachable, open-minded, not closed-minded, not think they know it all, open to ideas? Do they obviously have a great concept, or do they know a pathway to success? Where are they going? and I go back to anything, is how do they acquire customers and what is their acquisition cost? And if they know that acquisition cost, what's their pathway to scale that business to a certain level? And then also, I want to know as an investor, um, how do I get money back? If I put any money in, like what's the upside for me? Are they going to go public, or are they scale and exit it? They're going to pay back investors and profit share. What's in it for you? Um, and that's what I look for.
Yeah, good. Solid. You pivoted to media producer as well. It's a big one.
Yeah.
Talk
So
to me about that.
yeah. So I started with just doing my own personal brand, creating content for my own personal brand through going on local TV, social media back in the day, videos, content, doing my own TV shows. And, and then I use that as more of a tool to build my brand and get into deals and then help make myself money. And so I did my first TV show back in 2016 called Ambitious Adventures. Went on Facebook Watch, Amazon Prime, the Entrepreneur Network, and then I did a show called Success in Your City, which we ended up winning Emmys for. Um, you can go watch it on Amazon. Created that show. Then I did the film Think and Grow Rich: Legacy. I was involved with a group of people. We created a film based on the book Think and Grow Rich. Bob Proctor, Lewis Howes, Grant Cardone, Kevin Harrington, you name it, they're in there. I was the youngest kid in, so I'm 35 now. I was 27 when I was featured in that film. So I used my crowdfunding background and my hustle and grind to help get projects to become fruition. And so along the way, that built my brand, it made me some money, and I kept reinvesting. And so that became became a media guy. And now I have a whole team of editors, producers, digital marketers, and we big brand ventures. We help build brands through our team and our experience and my own experience over the past 15 years. And I started podcasting 10 years ago, and I have probably 600 episodes out online. And I just started by interviewing people in person around the country, sleeping in my truck, going to people's offices, setting up my Zoom H6 and my Blue mic, and having the headphones on. So I started a long time ago, and now I use that experience for people who are just getting into this world.
Cool, man. I love that. Can you talk to me about what it's like winning an Emmy? The whole process around that.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was until like how many years ago? I didn't even know what an Emmy was. It was, we had to put a lot of work in the show, great stories, and the cinema editors, there's a whole team to put all this together, and you got to submit and the whole process. But from a kid from a small town in Iowa, it's pretty cool. And yeah, the moment when we received the awards, I got on camera. People don't realize the whole 12 months prior to that was, I pretty much almost lost everything. Everybody said it wouldn't work. Everything you could think of went wrong as we traveled the country and created this docuseries. So when I did receive it, it was one of those, I call it Emmy moment now. When I speak, there's Emmy moments in life, whether you win an Emmy or not, where everything you worked so hard for, whether it took 2, 5, 10 years, becomes a fruition. And in that moment, you realize, wow, I did what I set out for. And it's a surreal feeling of euphoria and success. And it's something I wish everybody would get to experience by working hard at things.
Title of your show, Success in Your City, suggests that success is different for different people.
Yeah.
How do you look at it right now compared to maybe 15 years ago?
Yeah, success changes. When you're a teenager, for me, success was trying to get the girl. When I was in my 20s, success to me was trying to grind and make as much money as possible. Heck, at 28 years old, success to me, I just almost went bankrupt. I was starting over and trying to figure it out. And now at 35, success to me is I'm the CEO of a company that's on the path of becoming worth $1 billion. We have 20 some people on our team. We'll probably have double that by the end of this year. We have a large portfolio of companies. Success to me is building massive wealth and providing the most valuable asset that helps scale companies, helps entrepreneurs not feel alone, and just really mastering it to the highest level, but also being the best CEO I can be, while also being the best husband and also uncle for my niece and nephew. to show them what's possible, and health and wellness and all that along the way. But that's what success means to me right now. Pure immersion of just being the best I can be. And 5 years from now, when I'm 40, we'll see what success means then. But that's what it means for me right now.
What are you working on right now that excites you?
Yeah, so Big Brand Ventures, 6 months ago, we really kind of helped bring this together. We spent the past year merging our companies, Kevin Harrington Enterprises and Acceler Media Group. We created this business to really scale. Not only do we scale our businesses, but we're looking to build $1 billion portfolio in a short period of time, 3 years. And so I want to be known, Big Brand Ventures, as a premier agency to help scale businesses. And that's my whole focus. Everything I do right now is evolved around that. And I'm just excited I never know where I'm going to meet somebody. We have events around the country, and I might find our next 9-figure business. And I'm like a kid in the candy store. I'm just like excited for opportunities and enjoying the ride along the way.
Thanks for listening to the Quinn Podcast. If you enjoyed it, you can go to quinnpodcast.com to check out all of the previous episodes. quinnpodcast.com.